Hey, this is Matt once again. What about seeing the videos? The paid request this time from Jackal Gold Kit. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, reviews, re-reviews, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And he wanted me to talk about, because on the PayPal, he mentioned you to send a message along with the request. And he mentioned how he, like me, is a fan of this game, but he also did not like Resident Evil 5 and 6. And I guess he had heard that I didn't like them based on other videos and streams and stuff. So how about you do a video on why that is the case? And that is true. Like, the Resident Evil games, I grew up with 2 the most as a kid. But then around the time it came out, played this game. Now, I don't think this is my original copy. I think something else happened to it. I think this is a different version because it has... I think when I first got it, it didn't have this yellow sticker on it. Because I think there was a time I was playing video games and then I'm like, you know what, I'm going to get rid of everything because I don't have time for them. And then a few years I'm like, you know what, actually, I really miss them. I really like them. So, there were a few I saved just no matter what. And then these like PS2 games, a lot of them I got fairly cheap. And I played this on the PlayStation 4, but I did play this back to the day, loved it, adored it. I know people say this is the beginning of the end of Resident Evil, but this is still my favorite Resident Evil game. It's still one of my favorite games, period. I could play this and have fun to this day. Because I loved the combat, I love the style behind the shoulder. I love the different varieties of enemies. I thought the guns felt really good, especially the shotgun and the sniper rifle. Especially if you beat it on certain... If you do certain things, you can get the Chicago typewriter. Pretty much a Tommy gun. Infinite ammo. And just going through the game with that is a lot of excitement and entertainment. I liked the Leon Kennedy character, even if his lines seem a bit goofy in today's age. Still fun, exciting, and gets your adrenaline pumping. Now, Resident Evil 5 and 6. 6, I don't remember too much on, but let me talk about 5 first, because that's what I remember more about. I've never been a fan of 5. I remember the first time I heard about it, it was kind of an interesting idea that based on how much water you're getting, like if you're not getting enough water and the heat and stuff, you might get like hallucinations. Which seemed like an interesting idea. And it felt like the first time they implemented the game, you were by yourself. You were by yourself. It would take place in Africa. And to me, Resident Evil games work best when you're by yourself. When you're a single player, going around the location, or the mansion, or the police station, or whatever environment it is. Because you don't have someone else constantly talking to you. It's one thing, like every once in a while they talk to you in an earpiece or on the radio, but there's no one to turn to and just talk to them and physically, but you feel like you're alone. Even in the game, when you're by yourself, you feel like you're alone. So it feels more dangerous. It feels more tension-fueled. And I think that's how Resident Evil should be. It's one of the things I liked about Resident Evil 7. And went back to that. Even Resident Evil 4, most of that game you're by yourself. When the game starts, you're by yourself. A good chunk of the village, you're by yourself. And yeah, you find Ashley and you're protecting her because you're protecting and saving the president's daughter. But there's many times you can either hide her in a dumpster or she gets kidnapped 85 times and she disappears. Like, there's good chunks of the castle you're by yourself. Even when Ashley's with you, again, you can either put her somewhere or wait and you're going off by yourself. Like, you tell her to wait there and you go by yourself past all those armor of the knights to go in that room and you gotta fight the knights with the parasites and be by yourself. I don't want to be a babysitter. I don't want to be a babysitter. Escort missions can be the worst. This is a way of handling it where you're completely controlling them. You don't have to depend on them. Give them ammo. Maybe you have to give them health. And that, like, even the more annoying aspect of Resident Evil 4 is Ashley. Move, bitch. Get out of the way. What are you doing? Don't just sit down. Get out of there. Oh, she got hit. Damn it. Which I did. Brought a bit of challenge to it as well. Because you're supposed to be protecting her. So maybe I let it go for those aspects. But it didn't feel like it was a whole game of doing it. There were a lot of aspects that you're by yourself. A good chunk of the island. When the island starts, when the island finishes, you're by yourself. There's little parts here and there that you're with Ashley. But again, don't worry, wait about 15 minutes, she'll get captured again. Resident Evil 5, they bring in Sheva. They brought in Sheva because they thought the game was too racist. Because you're in Africa, and by the way, in case you don't know, there's black people in Africa. I know it might be a crazy notion, but there's actually black people in Africa. So when you set a horror game in Africa, and there's an infection in Africa, you may be shooting black people. I know it's crazy. It should have just been like all Asian people in Africa, or all Native Americans in Africa, or all Germans. Maybe they're just all Germans in Africa, all Russians. Just be all Russians. Everyone speaking Russian in Africa. I don't know why. I feel like the fucking guy in Lethal Weapon 2. But, you're black. No shit. There are black people in Africa. And if it takes place in Africa and there's an infection, you won't be shooting people. Because they've been turned into zombies, parasites, whatever. Oh, it's racist. So you have a partner with you. Every inch of the way. So everywhere you turn, you're always talking with her. You're always talking back and forth to her. You turn around, she's right behind you. You gotta do these things where you're both doing stuff together. You gotta do this to get a bridge so she can get across. You gotta do this and watch out for her and protect her. She could do this. To me, it took away any of the tension and the fun and the suspense out of it, because I was never alone. 100% of the time, just like Resident Evil 6, you with someone all the fucking time. Why? Also, not just because racist, so better have a black person there, but also for 2-player. And I'm sorry, Resident Evil is not a 2-player game. It's not a 2-player thing. Survival horror is not a 2-player background. It's not. When I think of Silent Hill, or the older Resident Evils, or Condemned Criminal Origins, or whatever the fuck, Doom, I don't think 2 players. Dead Space 3 fucking tried to do that. Granted, when you're playing Dead Space 3, it's this weird thing where Carver's there, but he's not there. Like, you don't see Carver, but when a cutscene happens, Carver just by osmosis is there. One of the many things that annoyed the piss out of me with Dead Space 3. But with Resident Evil 5, I don't like that you're with someone. It doesn't matter that she's black. She could be fucking Pluto from Mickey Mouse. It could be the fucking Easter Bunny for all I care. The fact that you're with someone the whole time. Same problem I have with Resident Evil 6. It's just annoying. It's not scary anymore. It's not creepy anymore. You don't feel a sense of isolation when you have someone next to you the entire time. How do you feel isolated when you're never alone? That's the thing with Resident Evil. You're in the mansion. This big mansion. You're by yourself. Or Resident Evil 2, you're in this big police station, you're by yourself. Once in a while you catch up with Claire, or once in a while in the first game you catch up with Barry or whoever, but for a good chance you're by yourself. Isolation. Not the case in Resident Evil 5 and 6. And Sheva, and also like Sheva, as well as I don't even remember who the hell they are in Resident Evil 6. I don't think they're interesting characters. I don't think they're that interesting. I don't think they're that intriguing of new characters. Granted, Ashley's not a good character in Resident Evil 4 either, but at least she fucks off for a good chunk of it. Sheva is a lot less annoying than Ashley, but Sheva never leaves you the fuck alone. And I don't want to have to keep fucking giving her ammo, or keep giving her health, or keep giving her this, or keep giving her that. I fucking hate that shit. I want the fucking ammo to myself. I want all the health to myself. That's why I hate even giving Ashley health. At least I don't have to give her fucking ammo, and at least I didn't have to hide her in a dumpster or fucking disappear. But Sheva's like, she fucking goes to the pit, put up the treasure, got herself hit, didn't know what the hell she was doing. Go watch my friend Michael Teen's playthrough Resident Evil 5. Have a drink. All the time Sheva kept shooting my friend Michael's, when he was playing as Chris, in the head. Stop shooting me! I hate that stuff, man. And I thought the combat was a big step down. Because when you shoot in Resident Evil 4, many times you shoot them in the head, they'll stagger, and you can kick them. The shotgun, they really fly back. Here, so many times when you're shooting someone with a pistol, it's like hitting them with a spit gun. Like the whole beginning where 200 villains are on you. Like, pop, 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 pop. And like, okay, might as well use a spit gun to be better than this. You did a shotgun, they like fly back to the maybe 2 hits or something. While in the Resident Evil 4, they'll fly off their feet and really get that impact of the guns. The shotgun felt weaker in Resident Evil 5. A lot of the weapons felt weaker in Resident Evil 5. And also, the inventory, they went back to how it was in the original. When the suitcase, the attaché case, was great. It was a wonderful addition. Even became like a little mini game. How do I fit this in this? And I can move this here. I can move that there. You did get bigger attaché cases? No. Boom. 9 slots. Don't have it tough. And just like the story. I know the stories of Resident Evil is ridiculous. But when you're fighting Wesker in the middle of a goddamn volcano, as if I'm ready to turn and don't see Obi-Wan and Anakin fighting, and Obi-Wan cutting him in half, and you're the chosen one. I'm thinking Chris Redfield's going to turn and see that in the fucking place they fight at the end. And, of course, Chris Redfield punching a fucking boulder. Fucking stupid, dumb shit. I know it's ridiculous with Leon Kennedy avoiding all the lasers. But number one, that was because of the movie. They did that. And number two, it looked cooler than just Chris punching a fucking boulder. And the villain, I'm like, come on, dude. This is ridiculous. We're in the middle of a fucking volcano. If there's anything that jumps the shark, it's fucking that. And it was... You notice how much time that game takes place in the daytime? Most of the fucking game takes place in the daytime. How can you invoke any atmosphere and spookiness when so much of it takes place in the fucking daytime? And a lot of the puzzles I hate in that game, from... And the... moving the fucking lasers to hit this, hit that, punch a fucking, this is Chris, punch a fucking pillar down to make room for this laser. Like I said, the guns felt weaker. What was I going to say? The environments just looked the same after a while. I really felt uniqueness in Resident Evil 4. You have the village, then you got the castle, then you got the island. It felt almost I was doing the same stuff in Resident Evil 5. It was a jungle, then a village, then Indiana Jones. Felt like I was playing Indiana Jones game than Resident Evil game. And like the bosses felt like just bullet sponges. They felt like just bullet sponges. A lot of those bosses. And like people don't like the gun stuff in Resident Evil 4. They went even more haywire in Resident Evil 5 where let's give people more guns and more bad guys with guns and let's have more of that. No, people didn't want more of that. In fact, they wanted less of that. Let's give more of these big old Gatling gun fellas and I just thought the bosses were just too much bullet sponges. They weren't. It just wasn't a fun game. It wasn't a scary game. It wasn't a fun game. Don't get me started in the whole Jill Valentine with her damn blonde hair now, being controlled by a fucking jewel on her chest, and how annoying it is to try to get that shit off her. Where it's like, you gotta be careful and shoot the fucking thing, and then, oh, doesn't work. Hopefully you shoot it again. Oh, but if you shoot it too much, she dies. Game over. So you gotta shoot it just enough, and then tap it just enough times to rip the fucking thing off. Did anyone ever go, that was a fun scene, man? Did anyone in the history of Resident Evil go, you know what scene I love to play? When you rip that fucking jewel off Jill Valentine's tits. I've never heard a single fucking person say that. Because they didn't. This is annoying. And Wesker dodging fucking bullets like he's fucking Neo. Grabbing rockets and he shoot the rocket and it just went even like more outrageous and more ridiculous and fuck, man. And then Chevy wasn't interesting. The bad guys having more shit to shoot at you. They really amped that stuff up. It wasn't scary. It wasn't fun. Get more annoyed and aggravated and raging. Like the whole opening was more annoying. At least the opening of Resident Evil 4, okay, they had pitchforks, and you gotta worry about the guy with the chainsaw. But it seems manageable. Here, no, it's just like everyone going over here and seems like the guns do less shit and feels like at times they'll never end. Like, is this shit going to ever end? So, if people love Resident Evil 5, good on you. It's not for me. And Resident Evil 6 I remember less about, but I remember that being a game that would never end. Because, okay, people enjoy the Leon and... what the fuck was the girl's name? I think it was in DC. Because that dealt with zombies. But then, like, all this stuff, like, I don't like the tic-tac health. I don't like the way they tried to do the health thing. I get what they're going for, but I don't know, just... I don't need to have the guy look like taking Tic Tacs. At times I didn't know I wanted to be Final Fight or Resident Evil because like Leon could like do all these hits, pop, 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 pop. I'm like, are you Cody from Final Fight? Seemed like most of the time you want to try to just shoot them all. I mean, kick them all because you don't have enough ammo. But I mean, that was probably the the fun one of all of them. Just what Chris and what Piers and it's like wannabe Call of Duty. I'm not playing Resident Evil to play wannabe Call of Duty. And then, I mean, there was shit going on in that game that would make Michael Bay confused. And it was much more action, much less about horror or atmosphere. And it's a game that felt like it was took forever. I played a little bit, I gave up, and I sold the game. I said, fuck this. I'm done. I don't need to beat it. I don't care. Do not care. I'll watch someone else beat it. I don't care. It's not scary. There's no mood. There's no atmosphere. There's no fucking residency of Resident Evil. No fucking residency of it. Once again, you're with another person. Everything. There's one of Wester's son and the girl. There's Chris and Piers. There's Leon and this. You're never alone. No one ever shuts up. There's no isolation. Great, you just slide on tables as if it's and go on your back like it's a John Woo movie. Not playing Resident Evil to try to play John Woo. I'll play Max Payne if I want to do that. Am I playing Resident Evil or want to be Max Payne? More like pain in my ass. Like there was Ada, but there was a fake Ada, and don't let try to explain the fucking plot to me. And I swear there was like bosses, like you fight, but then you gotta fight them again because you're playing it from this person's point of view. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. I didn't like fighting it the first time. Resident Evil 4 is fun. It can be challenging, god damn it, but it's fun. It consistently was still fun to overcome, to the actually the merchant talked with him and oh, do I want to get this weapon? Do I want to use this weapon? Do I want to update this weapon and get more firepower? Do I want to get rate of fire? A little bit of strategy there. It just felt more, I keep using the word fun. Just felt more fun to do it that way. But yeah, Resident Evil 5 and 6. I don't like that you're not isolated anymore. I don't like that you have someone titled on 24/7. Resident Evil 6 felt like it took forever to beat. And I didn't, that's why I didn't beat. I'm like, fuck this, I'm done. Resident Evil 5. I would never care to play. I don't have the game anymore. Sold it. Why do you play it? I don't have the game. And I'm not wasting my money to buy the game. And I just was annoyed. I was irritated by Sheva doing stupid shit. And I'm tired of like, well, your controller, at least Ashley's controls were more simple. Go in there, stay, go. Stay, go. I do just say Sheva's the same thing, but then, you know, she's picking up shit, or she's using health, or she can shoot, or then she won't shoot, or blah, blah, blah. The bad guys were not fun to fight. The story was just more and more ridiculous. It's never scary. I mean, I'm sorry, going through a fucking cave with Sheva, and here's 25 lickers coming at you. Either you're protecting this person from 25 lickers, or the 25 lickers are coming at you and try to kill 25, 35 lickers. To me, is not a fun time. I'm like, give me a fucking break. You're just spongy enemies, throw a shitload at you. That's what makes it tough. Cool. Cool story, bro. If you love it, cool. Not for me. That's why 7 was a nice, pleasant surprise. And in my opinion, return to form. After 5 and 6 is bullshit. 7 I liked a lot more. It's a lot more fun to play. You get that sense of isolation and residency of this swamp farm. The bad guys can be annoying, but easy to handle if you know what you're doing, but not walk in the park. Sometimes the balls seem a bit spongy, but at least each one, I don't know, once you know what I don't know, just, I like the designs of them better, I guess, than 5 and 6. But that's just me. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.